Apalogeza maoko unofapa. Ndikandogeza maoko. Shamari, mvura yacho rutobuda iri. Pakaipa. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. How old are you? Achena. Achena. Song yacho haipereka. But Shamari, iwe unazvoitirwa huku. Apa iuya apa. Kana yanga iripo ndaipedzera manje. Apa uku ndongonzi kupedzera corona. Usazvidaro.
Ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends, welcome to The Week with me, Comrade Fatso. And as coronavirus continues to ravage the world and many of us are encouraged to stay indoors, we bring you a special of The Week in Lockdown. It's been a very sad week as Zimbabwe encountered its first death from coronavirus. We lost Zororo Makamba, a trailblazing broadcaster who produced popular political shows like Point of View and State of the Nation. He was young, he was passionate about media, and he had a bright future. Of course, there were many things we disagreed on, and he was even the subject of some of our skits. But our disagreements were always rooted in one thing: our deep love for Zimbabwe. It shouldn't have happened like this, Baba. Rest in peace, Zororo. Zororo had traveled to New York, where he caught the coronavirus. He returned to Harare and passed away at the government's COVID-19 treatment center, Wilkin's Hospital, after he allegedly received terrible treatment from the medical professionals there. As the journalist that he was, Zororo would have wanted us to ask the questions, and so we will. Why did he pass away so suddenly? Why were there no ventilators, no medication, and not even enough oxygen at Wilkin's Hospital? Why was there not even a plug in his room to plug in a ventilator? Why did the government force him to stay at such an ill-equipped hospital? Who is this person who tried to extort $120,000 from the Makamba family in their darkest hour? 120,000 USA to set up an ICU facility at Wilkins and then donate it to the hospital? If someone who comes from a family as affluent as Zororo's, someone who had direct access to the president of the country, could be treated as inhumanely as he was, what chance does the rest of Zimbabwe have? What exactly impressed Russia if the one hospital dedicated as the COVID-19 treatment center can't even accommodate round-pin plugs? How can there not be enough money to properly set up Wilkin's Hospital if our president has got enough to fly to Namibia? Why is the health board spending thousands of US dollars on state-of-the-art Range Rovers instead of spending that on supplies for COVID-19 centers? Why is Opamuchinguri, who's on record as saying that coronavirus is punishment to those who put sanctions on Zimbabwe, on your task force, Mr. President? And we must not just ask questions of the government because the opposition has got a case to answer too. Nelson Chamisa, how can you tour Wilkin's Hospital in your nice, new, white, protective Hovros and say that the hospital is ready when it's blatantly not? How can the MDC-run City Council, which runs Wilkin's Hospital, come out and say this?
Harare City Council challenges anyone with information on council officials at Wilkin's Hospital who demanded money and equipment from the Makamba family. We state categorically that our staff never made any such demands and that they did all they could to save Zororo's life. The mayor and management joined the Makamba family in mourning Zororo. One life lost is too many. We, however, feel they are desktop commentators with no idea what the inside of Wilkins looks like, who are commenting based on false information.
Just apologize and say, but the biggest question we need to ask is to the government. Is this really the first coronavirus death? Or is it just the first one that we, the public, know about? They may not want to give us the answers to these questions, but we'll keep asking them. Zororo would have wanted us to keep asking these questions for the sake of our country. And so we will. In other news, Zimbabwe has fully gone into lockdown. Kind of. After Edie's announcement this week, we've closed our borders, shut down restaurants, and even Pablo's Nekwamerek have closed. Except we still have our informal markets open, the Zupcos will keep running, and you can have gatherings of up to 50 people. Does doesn't sound like much of a lockdown to me. More like Kia lockdown. To show how seriously he takes it, ED had said he had banned international travel for his government, and then he hopped on a plane to Namibia for the presidential inauguration. But come on guys, he'd been so good, eh? At least let him do like one flight a month. Then he comes back and doesn't even go into self-quarantine. Yeah. We also got some good corona advice from the president. According to ED, a fuel queue does not count as a gathering. So please proceed to queue in your thousands, comrades.
Well, I think queues for fewer people will be in their cars. Unless they decide to come out in the lineup, generally they will remain in their cars. I have not said the cars cannot be more than 50.
Yes, comrades, your Honda Fit is your protective clothing from Corona. WTF. The fact is, in Zimbabwe, we need a clear and strict lockdown. Not this ambiguous, interpret it how you see fit nonsense lockdown. And the first place that needs to be locked down is the RBZ. Because how is it at a time when the country doesn't have enough ventilators, the health board is getting new Range Rovers? It's not enough that we have to endure state propaganda, now we have to endure religious propaganda too. Over the past few weeks, Prophet Makandiwa has found different ways to be part of the news cycle. I guess he was getting jealous that Prophet Pashon Java was stealing all his limelight these days. It all started with reports and a video that somehow he may have predicted coronavirus. And then what? Let's say for argument's sake you did predict it. And then what? Did you prepare your congregants? Did you forewarn the government? Then came this.
Yes. You can't just say, now the Chinese are free. It's over. And now people are allowed to come back, even from infected countries. Coming back. Where did it go? Yes. So there must be an exercise. But our people are not telling us the truth.
Hold on. Who's this deep-voiced hype man? Eh? Like a religious Barry White. Eh? A Christian B.A. Baracus. Yeah. Yeah. Wish I had a hype man like that. And why is Makandiwa spreading conspiracy theories? It's very irresponsible. It's one thing for Tindo in Mabuku to share his conspiracy theories on WhatsApp, but it's another thing for a whole church leader to share these unverified and unsubstantiated claims about a global pandemic. In the wise words of our former First Lady, we say,
Atili, that must stop, you stop it!
Amidst all the bad news about coronavirus, there have been some positives. Cities like Los Angeles are experiencing no smog and much healthier air because there are no cars on the road. Nature has returned to the usually tourist-filled canals of Venice, where ducks and seaweed are now reclaiming what was once theirs. Mutual aid societies have started to emerge in the UK, where neighborhoods set up self-help groups to help each other. Why does it take a catastrophe and such loss of human life for us to achieve this? It shows, though, that we can build a better world that values real solidarity, cooperation, and coexisting with nature, if we try. The coronavirus outbreak shows the real need for a proper health system in Zimbabwe. In the #OurZimbabweDream series, we look at the alternatives we want to build in the future and not just the situation we're fighting against. After years of the government destroying our health service and creating an unequal system where the rich can access private healthcare while the poor suffer in dysfunctional hospitals, we need to ask ourselves, what would a fair and just health system look like that we can fight for? In the absence of a government that's got any clue what to do in the face of this COVID-19 outbreak, we as citizens need to come together. If you want to support citizen-driven initiatives in the fight against COVID-19, then go to the GoFundMe page and support the Citizens Initiative Drive that's all about supporting our medical professionals and their fight against coronavirus. Thanks for joining us on the week. Follow Magamba TV on social media. I've been Comrade Fatso. You have been the people. This has been the week in lockdown. Thank you, and Futzak.